Welcome back to Million Dollar Brands. I'm Laura Lian Williams, and I am so excited to have our guest, Deb Torres, with us today. Deb, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Deb Torres, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And for the last 3 years, I have had a business called Institute for the Cycles of Life, where I bring people into the world gracefully and I let them leave the world gracefully.
That's so neat, Deb. And so, how long have you had your practice?
About 3 years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
So, I'm sure you see a lot of different types of marketing and branding in the medical field, but specifically in social work. Have you done anything lately that, with your brand or any strategy that you would like to continue doing, or is there something you want to try?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Laura, I am kind of new to this whole marketing and branding idea. So, I think that as I continue to grow, it would be helpful to figure out what strategies would be good from a marketing and branding standpoint of view. The business is called Institute for the Cycles of Life, and so we've shortened it with ICOL. So, the only thing I know about branding is like I have a logo that my daughter designed. That's about it.
That's good. Well, that's a good start. That's wonderful. Just to sum up in a nutshell, there's so many different ways we could go with brand strategy for you. But what I recommend is making a game plan and kind of asking yourselves a couple of questions. So, first of all, bringing all your key decision makers, but it sounds like you're the main one that runs the business.
Correct.
But ask yourself, why did I start this? And really remember the passion behind it. I would sit down with that, figure out who you're serving, and so that would be your target audience. And then, what is it that you give in your service? But then also, how do you do it differently than your competitors? And I know those sound like simple questions, but sometimes just writing it out can really be helpful. And then it can allow you to connect the dots and figure out, okay, this is the target audience that I really, really enjoy working with. And that actually can help tailor your marketing plan and brand strategy, because you know specifically who you're serving. Because, right, if we say everyone, sometimes when we say everyone, we're not really talking to anyone, right? Because it's too broad.
Exactly.
And I feel like you have such a unique target audience that we could really specifically hone in on. But what would you say, if we were just to think about it briefly, your target audience, because you are in the medical space and, you're helping people both come in and out of the world? Who would you say that is?
I think that my target audience for birthing, of course, would be young moms, young families. And then I think from my end of life work, it would definitely be seniors or individuals that are in their 50s that have parents that are 70, 75, and 80 that have done no long-term planning.
Right.
I think those would be kind of my two target audiences.
Oh, that's a good way to break it down.
Yeah.
And I like that, you specifically targeted almost even kind of an age group, because that helps you even more. Because some people just say old and young. Well, we got to narrow it down a little bit.
Exactly.
And that really helps you when you're doing your planning and strategy, because now we know where the kind of young moms are in that age group. And then we're also, that was smart of you to think about the person that is moving on, but also who's kind of probably the decision maker for that individual, of your loved one.
Correct.
That's really neat. So you have this logo. Okay. But then were you able to help with colors and all of that as well? Did you kind of think about that, or did your daughter just create something amazing and just show it to you?
She created something amazing. My favorite color is purple.
Okay.
And so she created the logo in the Arlington Heights Library. And so we were playing around in one of those programs, that you have. And she goes, "Mom, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "I really like it because it's a tree." And is what it is. And then ICOL came from our family room because Institute for the Cycles of Life, the acronym. And the girls said to me, "Mom, you need an email." And I was like,
you're like,
and so I'm like, "Why do I need an email for the business?"
Right.
And so they basically said, "I think that we should go ICOL by Deb." So our email was designed in our family room.
Well, that's so fun. You did it with your family. There was that strategy involved, and everyone got to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
That's really neat. You all came together and got to do it.
Exactly.
It's almost like a family business.
Exactly.
So you've already got your logo designed, and let's see, you're already out in the community, clearly, because your business is a couple of years old.
Yes.
And you also run Critical Conversations, the panel I'm so fortunate to be on.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because you're the one that inspired that.
Sure. So you and I actually met at the Arlington Heights Business Group.
Yeah.
And when I started the business, I was encouraged to go to a couple of other networking groups. When I went to the Arlington Heights Business Group, I really liked the sense of humor at the Arlington Heights Business Group. And I just thought that there was a nice collection of men and women. And when I was kind of thinking about my business, I thought, why can't we all come together and do these Critical Conversations event? Because I have contacts in the community in terms of finding a venue where we could hold these. And so that's where the Critical Conversations event came. And on Wednesday night, we were all free for an hour. And so... And now we have one coming up on May 31st at the Waverly Inn on Rand Road. And then we also have a request from a facility in Northbrook in the fall.
Awesome.
So I think all of our hearts is to really provide education, about seniors and life and how to age well and die well. And I think that that's kind of the passion. And that's kind of the goal.
That's so neat. I love that because you started it, and I thought it was neat. Like you said, you brought all different industries together. I think that throws people in the beginning. Like when I share with people what I'm on, they're like, "Wait, what? You're in the creative and digital space. Why would you be talking about this about dying?" I'm like, well, we all deal with dying in different ways. We have family members. Things happen in our lives that we just have to adjust. And but if there's no game plan and anything set, it makes it really difficult. So I really appreciate everything you've done, and you've even helped Dirk and myself with some family matters, and we appreciate your guidance.
You're welcome.
It's been amazing having you, and just as a friend as well. But I love also being on that panel because I'm learning so much from everyone on it. But it is really neat to give it forward and share that with others because they don't realize it's a problem until it is one.
That's right.
It's an emergency then,
unfortunately. Exactly.
That's so neat. But I'm glad that we get to brand that together too for Critical Conversations. But I like to just touch on and help people understand that you doing Critical Conversations, it's kind of like an additional part of your branding and marketing. I mean, you really lead the way and have started that, and it's just another kind of benefit or feature that you do and give back to the community. So I want you to remember too that it's not just about the logo and everything, because that strategy is important, and Deb already took that step in the strategy to think even further. Like, it's not just about a logo, but how am I going to give back to the community? How are people going to notice what I'm doing, but in a different way? Because not everyone probably needs you at this very moment. Or they don't even really fully understand what you do. So this gives everyone a little taste of that as well.
It's true.
But thank you so much, Deb, for being our guest this month.
Welcome.
And if you or anyone you know has any questions about branding or design in our community, feel free to send me an email at hello@lauralian.com, and we'd love to feature you next month on our show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Bye.